39th birthday, and he is still scoring hat-tricks at the very top level of this game. Alexi Lala, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Thierry Henry, Rebecca Lowe. You know him so well. You both played with him. Thierry, we have to treasure these days.
Listen, we said before the game that this guy and the guy that we're going to see tomorrow, they're both on the moon. And he reminded us why he is who he is. And Argentina also reminded us that they are the oldest. Let's not forget about them. But Leo is just different. It's just a different topic. So, as you will say, when you give the back to the break or whatever, like Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Kane, over to you.
Zlatan?
I said it. Watch and enjoy.
True.
That's what we did. There was a day full of stars, and they delivered.
Yeah, they absolutely did, Lex.
Definition of a star is when everybody expects you to star, you deliver. And that's what they did on a consistent basis. But tomorrow's a whole nother day. And like you mentioned, whether it's Ronaldo sitting wide awake right now down in Houston, I'm sure staring at the ceiling thinking, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? Or your friend Mr. Kane down there in Dallas. You're up, gentlemen, let's go. Yeah. Bring the stars.
Yeah, we had stars today. We've got stars coming your way tomorrow.
I was excited to see him, and like I said, didn't disappoint.
I asked Patrick at half-time whether or not they were going to take Messi off and preserve him a little bit, and he said no, absolutely not. Messi decides when he comes off, and I guess he wanted to get his hat-trick first. Let's take you back to 2-0 in the second half. He's the one that's there. He's got the hunger still when Zidane spills it.
Yeah, the game started on the left-hand side with his first touch here. But what was quite really interesting is run inside the box, because this is where you can score the goals. But after the shot of McAllister outside of the box, he's the first one to react. And like Duncan was mentioning earlier on, they are all ball watching, but Messi anticipates, and then he managed to score the goals. Of course, again, I think Zidane is not going to be happy to see that shot again, because he should do much better than that. And Messi is the only player inside the box is in a movement, and then he scored with the right foot.
Yeah. Is that just his level of intelligence, Duncan, in the football pitch?
Yeah, he's well above the opposition, isn't he? He's such an intelligent player, and it was such a cool finish, wasn't it? His right foot, it's like he was just like, you knew he was going to score it, didn't you? And a wonderful reaction, as Patrick said. A phenomenal player, incredible hat-trick. Yeah. His first hat-trick in the World Cup.
Hey, let's see it. Let's have a look at that, Duncan. Were you as impressed with this hat-trick as you were with the brace?
Yeah, it's a great finish, isn't it? Wonderful finish. Great move. And they're looking for him. They're always looking for him. But the Algerian players are nowhere near him, and you always knew once he was in that position, that's going to be a goal. Top quality players finish their chances. And I always knew that was going to be a goal when they got into that position. But they're not picking him up. They're ball watching. They've given him the freedom of the pitch. You cannot give a superstar the freedom of the pitch. You have to mark him. If you don't mark him, he's going to hurt you. And that's exactly what he did.
That was his 61st career hat-trick. And just a little stat for you, just quickly before we carry on the analysis. Messi scored more World Cup goals after turning 35, which is 10, than these players in their entire careers. Cristiano Ronaldo, Henry, Maradona, Rivaldo, Neymar and Harry Kane. Quite a list there. Kaz, you were having a little look at their build-up play, Argentina.
Yeah. I've enjoyed, obviously, the Messi show, but the combination stuff I really enjoyed. A lot of the time, you see that line there, I found them very vertical, the connections. They can do this flick round the corners, give and goes, or even up back and throughs. But this was something that really impressed me. And I'm not a total expert on South American teams, but when I have seen them, this is a common theme. There's that vertical line of the combination again. Look, one player stretches, and then look, it's how do we find the goat? How do we find Messi? How do we let him do his thing? Okay, this pass doesn't come off. But it's a bit of a trend, and it's something that teams are going to have to look through. Again, how do we keep finding Messi? It's not as vertical as the passes before, but it's sort of flick round the corner. McAllister, thank you very much. There's the goat. You go and do your thing. Look, Zidane made a good save in this instance, but I was really impressed. We've seen Spain maybe be a little bit horizontal and slow, but this Argentina team, they're direct, they're vertical, and they hurt you.
And the example of where that worked was Patrick 1-0 and that brilliant assist.
Yes, of course, De Paul with the ball centrally here. And you can see that there's so many Argentinian players centrally, but they managed to find Messi just behind the Algerian midfielders. And then when Messi is in this position and he's facing the goal, the quality and his talent do the rest of the job. And it was a really cool finish from Messi.
I mean, Messi could have had 5 goals in it, he couldn't have.
Yeah.
He could have had 5 goals, couldn't have? He got one chopped off for the offside and he got another one went through in the goal and the goalkeeper made a good save. He could have had 5 goals.
It's a bit boring when he went off.
I can't remember another Argentinian player actually hitting a shot.
You know what's quite incredible when you look at this and you think about everything he's done on World Cup stages? He's never won the Golden Boot. And today was really a day for like the people who are in the race for the Golden Boot that you expect to be in and kind of around there, because Haaland scored a brace, Mbappe scored a brace, and then Messi was like, you know what, I'll just get the hat-trick.
That is a good answer from Messi to Haaland and Mbappe. And I think he will be there. It's his last World Cup, and I think he look in a really good shape physically as well. I know that he came out 10-15 minutes before the end, but he looked really in a good shape.
He still glides across the pitch like he always does. And we were saying, is he going to be played differently? Does he look like he's slowing down? Do you see any signs of that, Kaz?
Nah, not from anything tonight. I thought he was... Even we would speak about sometimes the off-the-ball stuff. I saw him sprinting back. I saw him doing jobs for the team. Not all the time, but he still did his job. But the sharpness in the final third. But I have to say, the team made a movement to get him on the ball as much as possible. And I think I've seen France today, Argentina. Those two teams have been by far the best in the competition that we've seen.
In good shape to defend their crown?
Yes, they are, especially if Messi's in that form, isn't he? He is like a one-man team, isn't he, really? I know it's a bit unfair on the rest of them, but the minute Messi came off the pitch, the game wasn't the same. So, yeah, they're going to have to keep him fit, which obviously he showed a lot of resilience through his career. So, yeah, look, at the end of the day, Messi will have to perform, and if he keeps on performing, Argentina will be a tough team to beat.
Many questioned whether they'd have that trip as they did in their first game in 2022. It wasn't to be the case. It was an excellent performance, no?
Indeed. When you speak about a cleaner, you speak about Messi.
Yeah.
Cleaner, clinical performance, amazing to watch. I mean, we still very much adore what he does, and he doesn't disappoint at all. I mean, the goals that he has scored, very, very beautiful, well constructed from a team performance. I think from this, it's a very good job in terms of how they start the World Cup. Having to look at back, this is a good start for them. But of course, he'll want to continue. He'll want to see the best out of him. And I think we will see the best out of him out of this World Cup. He's making great numbers. And of course, sooner or later, he's going to be that first player also to overcome clauses. So he'll be looking at those numbers. But equally, more importantly, it's for the team.
Stigger, do you feel Argentina were tested much today?
Not much. I think if you look at the stats, no shot on target for Algeria. We couldn't have been more wrong, because we said Argentina are slow starters to the tournament. And what a performance. They've got 3 goals. They had a clean sheet. They were totally dominant. I don't even feel that Algeria tested them at any point in this game. And that is a perfect start for Scaloni.
In terms of Messi going into this, many questioned whether he'd still have the pace and that efficiency in front of goal, having been in the MLS for a couple of seasons now. That doesn't seem to be a difference.
If anything, it looks like he's still got the legs. You see, he's still running at pace with the ball. Yeah, this intelligence, you can't teach that. You know, just one drop of the to the left to create the angle. He takes up such intelligent positions, but he's got the luxury of floating wherever. We spoke about the trio in midfield that became so important. We look at the quality of De Paul, breaking the lines through that midfield there, and then you can see 2 number 10s. One is Messi falling to him. He turns, and the rest is history, the Villa.
I think also look at Martinez there, leaning there on that, making himself a threat, because of he's able to contain those 2 defenders on the other side. So it makes that space for Messi. But what the smallest detail for me is him back foot, then he's on the charge. And once he finds himself as a 10 in that position, you cannot stop him from there.
You really can't. And what a goal at top bins, as you described earlier. Questions to be asked about Zidane's techniques when it came to trying to do a better job with all 3 goals?
A lot of questions. Firstly, he got a touch on that. If you get a touch on that, it has to be stronger hand. He's got to save that. But once again, Messi moving to the left, he then puts all his weight on the right-hand side. So to recover, it obviously puts him at a disadvantage. But having said that, he could have been better. He should have made that save.
And let's see the second goal, because I'm going to ask you the same question. Should Lucas Zidane have done better in that instance? Because this is where we see Messi doing what he does. In fact, it was a team effort starting from the goalkeeper nearly at the halfway line.
And this is Argentina in full flight to Villa. You can see them changing it up, going direct. McAllister with an excellent shot. So we don't want to be too hard on the goalkeeper. So they came through a number of bodies, maybe unsighted there. So I want to lean on not lambasting the goalkeeper. But the first one he should have done better. The second one, we'll have a better look here now. McAllister gets a touch. There's a lot of bodies in front of him. So maybe that's a bit too harsh to say, listen, that's on him. Yes, goalkeepers, when you're going to parry it, you have to parry it sideways. I think he was unsighted there, but once again, the genius, the anticipation of Messi, and the calmness with the finish, because he gets there, and then you're assuming he's left-footed, and he calmly slots it at the bottom left corner there with his right foot.
I think it's just a sniffer, but also you're asking yourself, the likes of the defenders, I mean, surely one should be closing now on him. Someone should be getting closer to him, because he can't be just ball watching. Because for me, that was just ball watching from the defenders. Mainly they are watching. They're not helping even Zidane with that save that he tried to manage. Because you will make those mistakes, but as a group, even though when you consider as a group, they won't say it was Zidane. It's a collective effort. But them not being alive to clear that moment, and then also not looking that Messi is very much available and very much sniffing at those opportunities. And smart enough from him, he's got that instinct that he needs the goal. The football goals are already saying there's the goal, and then he's in the right position to slot it in.
Does he need the goal, though?
He
because
does.
He's, as we said, level with Miroslav Klose on 16 goals in a World Cup. This is just the first game for Argentina. He's probably going to surpass that record. But let's take a look at his hat-trick here. It came in the 76th minute. Talk me through it.
It's just getting started, isn't it? He starts the move. The attention goes off him. They bring it back to him, who calmly slots that. You know what? He's got so much poise here. He's carrying the ball. He's looking at his options, 2 on the right, 2 on the left. And they always say the difference between a good and a great player is he chooses the right pass, Villa.
Yep.
And then it comes back to him. He gets a touch. He opens it up. And you're assuming it's going to go top corner, but he puts it at the bottom, and very little that Zidane, the goalkeeper, could have done.
You know what else? I think I've seen this movement happening before, not only with Argentina, but it's a replica of him being in the Barcelona. Jordi Alba will be in that same position, having to do a cutback for him in that center area. So I've seen this movement happening so many times whereby he just stands behind. He knows for sure that the defenders are locking in. They want to cover the box, but him making himself then is able to do that. I look at the stats right now in terms of those. I think for me, the ball recovery, I think that's what's interesting. I would like to see the likes of McAllister, likes of the ball, how much they worked in terms of covering certain ground. But I think they were very much in charge. The 45%, I think, for me, is the balance for Argentina, having to see certain moments, use those moments very well, and then it turned out very well for them.
Yeah, Vladimir Petkovic will probably try and put this game to one side. 0 shots on target, and they regroup again for their second game in the group stages.
Argentina taking on Algeria in Kansas City. Rebecca Lowe, Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Alexi Lalas. As I said, this is what they came for. Let's have another look at it, shall we? Lex, you start us off.
All right, an MLS connection right off the bat for Argentina. Rodrigo De Paul of Inter Miami. Oh, my goodness, breaking lines. Look at this pass right to Messi of Inter Miami, and he just smacks it. But I got to tell you, Lucas Zidane, I think you got to do better on this.
This was a goal before he got the ball. He knew it, and the problem was the mistake from the Algerian defense was you gave him space because of the respect you have for him. So he scored many goals from there.
That's the issue of the 4-4-2. Any ball strong between the line with the little man being there, and runs of the 2 strikers after you pick and choose your poison. If you come out, you'll feed. If you don't come out, you'll bury it. What a player.
What a player indeed. Let's take you back to Rob Stone over there in Kansas City. Chaps.
Rebecca, thank you. Messi's numbers at the break, 38 touches, 2 shots, 2 recoveries, an 84% passing accuracy rate, and of course that 1 goal. But he does so much more beyond just those numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a nightmare for these adversaries because after every attack, he's walking back slowly, so nobody's seeing him. But while he's walking back, he's observing, talking with his teammates to tell them what to do better in the next occasion they will have. It's fantastic to see that. He's constantly tuned in, even if he's walking.
But he's also, it's not, I won't say he's a problem for the team, but Argentina playing man-to-man, and as soon as Algeria's broken that, as soon as they get past that extra man, they use that extra man they have getting past it, then they've had the chance. We've seen Shatu with a couple of chances, and I don't think that they're out of this game. They just need to take advantage of those opportunities. So for them, it's all about getting through that midfield, getting them on the other side of their goal, and then they get more chances, I would think.
By the way, the lower bowl behind our set, wrapping all the way around, never sat down for the first 45 minutes. They're finally getting a break here with Argentina.
Argentina have dominated the game. They've dominated the possession. They started really well in the game with offside goal, a couple of offsides. The game started really well, but they've not created enough chances. They've only had the difference was Messi, really, wasn't it? They've been attacking centrally. They've overloaded the middle of the pitch. They've not got the balance right because they're not playing a right winger now. But they've been successful with that internal pass through the block, and that's where the goal came from. But Argentina have been dominant in the game. But I'd like to see them create more chances.
Karen, let's have a look at that goal. Then you can tell us about it.
Yeah, Duncan mentions it. The attack has been very, very narrow, and the reason why is to be patient and try and find the goat. As soon as DePaul gets the foot on the ball here, you see the five of the midfield nice and tight and compact. Technical players trying to work it, but the bottom line is, where's Messi? How do we find him? When do we find him? And then a pass straight through then. Either need or pass into him, and then the rest is history, and he does his bit of magic. But they're staying narrow to give him the opportunity to get on the ball. And it's about the timing of the pass and the awareness, Patrick.
Yeah, I think Argentina have so many players play centrally, and they overload the central midfielder. And with the technical quality and ability, they manage to find those players between the line. And DePaul with the quality of the pass, because you need to be a Messi to really control the ball, because he put the power just to break the midfielders, I will say, from Algeria. And then after that, Messi facing the goal. And then I think Zidane will be a little bit disappointed to concede the goal, because at the end I think he was a little bit late to react. And you can see here that he managed to touch the ball, but it wasn't enough power, I will say, on his legs to really push and to take the goal away. But that was a really good goal from Messi.
Yeah, I think he should have saved it, the goalkeeper, shouldn't he? But Messi's been the difference. Fantastic strike. And he's been the difference in the game, Messi, hasn't he? But hopefully, I'd like to see Algeria come out and make a few substitutions in the second half, maybe get the top goal scorer on the pitch, Amura, and bring Mahrez on. Maybe mix it up a wee bit, you know what I mean, so to give him a bit more attacking force up front for Algeria.
There's the question. By the way, that was the fan park in Miami, all celebrating when Messi scored, all the fans there, probably the Argentinian fans, but also a few Miami fans too. Is that what they need to do? Because earlier on you were saying with Mahrez, you weren't surprised he wasn't starting, but did they need a bit of that experience to come on now?
I don't know if there's experience or a little bit more courage and personality. I think Musa and Shaibi on the wing they have to do a little bit more. They did it a little bit in the last 15 minutes in the first half, where they have to run more and testing more the fullbacks of Argentina. I think they have to get the ball and to run more and try to get more inside the box, because it was really difficult for them to create and to run behind Argentina and back four. They did not use the wing enough, and maybe Mahrez can be the answer because of this creativity. But I think the manager may not going to make a change straight away. He'll wait maybe after 15-20 minutes, but they need more quality on the wings.